people. Again, to take it back to David Paulides of Missing 411, like, it sounds like a deal was made. Like, okay, we're going to just pick off a couple people from the national parks every now and then. Do we have a deal? But I think there was a trade made. I mean, our technology, blew up after the Second World War and whatnot. So, I mean, around that time, of course, war does, we do progress faster during times of war. But, I mean, the amount of technology that we got out of that it's really amazing.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder, was there some type of trade or deal made?
But we just basically, during World War II, perfected the sonar and perfected the old radar systems, and even that advanced in the mid-50s, like, started just going fast, crazy fast. This everything, fiber optics.
Considering what we started the war with, the tools that we started the war with is so, it's not advanced at all. I mean, we're talking about spears in Poland and swords, and then we're ending the war with sonar, or Nazi Germany with stealth fighters and plans for stealth fighters, or whatever. I mean, that's a huge jump in 8 years' time. It's amazing.
Yeah, and
it's absolutely amazing. It makes you wonder.
And and if you go through any time frames, okay, it seems like during that time it advanced so drastically fast compared to any other time frame for mankind. And then it seems like now it just keeps going faster and faster and faster. And that alone is kind of making me wonder, what is going on? And then I have a guest. I got a guest coming up in June who claims, as our president is talking about creating a space force, this person worked for the government, and from what I checked out, from what he, faxed me over, it was all credible. Claims that there is a space force, and has been one for a long time, protecting us from attack.
Right. I wouldn't doubt that. That reminds me of a novel I just read. Fiction, complete fiction, but that was pretty much the main storyline right there. Is a secret group of our force team that would defend the Earth in case of an attack or whatnot. And yeah, they probably are doing that. I would, if there was something flying around our skies I didn't know what it was.
Well,
I would definitely have,
It just makes me wonder
because
it just makes me wonder because I think because again, technology has been advancing so fast. But then look at what Reagan said when he wanted to build basically a satellite system with weapons on it, with lasers and all this stuff to basically defend our country or Earth or whatever, And why would he want it to push something like that? I mean, and then back, maybe now 5 months ago, the Secretary of the Air Force was saying, hey, our next major war is not going to be on ground. It's going to be in outer space. I mean, you can take that two different ways. I mean, it could be that, hey, some other country is going to send missiles towards us and we send missiles back, but that's still a ground war because they're going to detonate on the ground. Why would you have somebody say that our next major war will be in outer space? That kind of makes me kind of a little hint that maybe something's going on. And then right after he said that, the Navy releases this video that's circulating around of the two fighter pilots, right, trying to intercept, a UFO. And,
a UFO, yeah.
And now there's another one that's kind of circulating around about a month ago. And it's just now starting to hit, I guess, again, 2 or 3 pilots tried to intercept a UFO, and couldn't even do that.
Good luck with that, boys. Their technology is so far advanced. What would that war in the sky look like, really?
I don't know.
And it's interesting, if you think about it, if we look up at our sky right now, what we're looking at isn't current. It's not present. It's, we're looking at the past. We can't see what's currently going on up there. So I think that's interesting. We're who knows? Without the use of powerful telescopes and whatnot, you don't know what presently is going on up there.
No, and another thing that they say too, all our weapons and our aircraft, what we see now is basically 20 years behind what's actually going on. So, we don't even know. So what they let us know is one thing. What they don't let us know is another thing.
Oh yeah, no, it happens all the time. And, and it's always been like that. Like antibiotics, like those were discovered in like 1920. We didn't know about them as the general public until 1940s. So I mean, like that. Yeah, that's just the way they've always rolled stuff out. So I can only imagine what they have. I mean, cell phones too. Remember cell phones? There were cell phones actually around in the 70s and in the 60s too. The technology was there, I think, in the 50s, but we're only now seeing it now here amongst the general population. Granted, they weren't as technically advanced as they are now, but they were there. I don't remember people talking about them, but they were there.
Well, I remember me seeing the first cell phone was basically a friend of mine bought one, or leased one at the time. Yeah. It was in a briefcase.
Oh, yeah.
And then I got so intrigued on it, about a year or two later, they actually had them for, your car. So I went into this place and bought one. It was really expensive back then.
Oh, yeah. And to use. Like, you could only use it in emergency. Like, don't even pick the thing up and turn it on because they're going to charge you.
No, it was expensive to use. I mean, you're talking about a huge minute fee. And I think the first bill I got back then was like $300, for the month. But I remember almost killing myself because, it had a microphone headset on it. And I remember, they say, don't use it while you're driving. Well, I found out real fast, if you're driving and you make a turn, you're wrapped around the steering wheel.
Oh, geez. I bet that caused a lot of accidents back then.
Oh, I'm sure. They worry about people talking on it now. I mean, I don't know. But the other thing, it really concerns me, too, with this bit back with Eisenhower, allowing abductions. It's been reported that the alien race that he gave this agreement with, they just didn't want to abduct humans for experimenting. I guess they were cannibals, and supposedly, I guess from what I've been hearing from some of my people, guests on my show, a couple of them are doctors, and one or two of them have been scientists. Are claiming that there is one species of aliens that the government has agreement with that basically abduct people to eat, and that they have a shortage of food on their world. So, I mean, I guess we're supplying them, supposedly, their nutrition.
That's interesting. Yeah, I've read that, too. And it's a few different races, from what I understand, that supposedly eat humans.
Well, this one guy went as far as said that they abduct humans, right? They take them back onto their world, right? And you know how we have cattle and we have pigs and all that stuff, right? They breed them. The people or humans breed them to basically for their food stock. And I don't know. We look at me. Look at me. I like steaks, right? And I like pork chops. Okay, and another species could look, because let's face it, if they're intelligent enough to travel to this planet and have a spacecraft, and to have all this type of weaponry that we don't even have or even could dream about, right? They would look at us as no more than I look at a cow. I'm serious. I mean, that's the scary part.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true. They look at us and just see delicious. Like, to them, Chinese food means something completely different.
Yeah. It reminds me of that old Twilight Zone episode where a spaceship lands and this big, huge, tall alien comes out with his tribe with him. Yeah, and they give the scientists a big book, but they couldn't read it because it's in that language.
Oh, to serve man, is that the one?
Yeah, serve man, and as this one scientist was selected to go on the spaceship, which all the airports didn't have airplanes anymore. They had all spaceships landing, taking all these people to this lovely planet, right? And I loved that series so much because it said, as he was getting on, his scientist helper come running out, and she goes, "Don't get on the ship. We broke the code. to serve man as a cookbook.
Yeah, exactly. Just that show was great. Totally social commentary. It was wonderful.
But that somebody had a good imagination and figured it's always a possibility.
Yeah, but it was so clever. Serve man, to serve mankind. Or Soylent Green. Remember that Soylent Green?
Oh
Just
yeah,
people.
yeah. That was, you could get into that. I mean, basically, when you got to a certain age and you felt you wanted to die, right? You could pay this certain amount of money, go into this little nice chamber. They would show you, video or films of what the Earth looked like, and then they would kind of like let you die, not naturally. But then, they didn't tell the people what happened to you after you died. I mean, here's all these people, right? Because there was such a shortage of food from the nuclear war took place. That Charlton Heston was the main star of that.
Right.
That it turned out to be that they would take the corpses, right, and turn them into salt, that food product, and people were fighting over it and killing each other over it, and they didn't know they were eating their neighbor. Yep,
no, it's true. There was something similar. I think was it in Brave New World by Aldous Huxley, where people were being used for pretty much fuel. I think they were burning their bodies for fuel, from what I can remember.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not too much different than donating your body to scientific, experimentation after the fact.
Yeah, but if you donate your body, you're knowing you're donating your body. These people in this movie didn't know that. They thought they were going to, they were going to be respected and buried in a nice, everything. And no, as soon as they passed on, right, they threw them on a gurney and then dumped them in a great big, like a huge box with everybody. Vat with a whole bunch of other bodies, and they were processed and, chopped up and
turned into tofu.
Tofu, and and people had a ration for it. So, if anybody wants to offer you some Soylent Green, don't take it.
Yeah, exactly. It's people.
Well, so we're about, I don't know what state you're, California?
I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. Oh, I'm outside of Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay, Phoenix. Now, have you ever seen any strange lights in the sky that you couldn't account for?
It's funny because I have a friend back home in Massachusetts. I'm originally from the East Coast, but who always he's like, dude, it's like, what's going on in Phoenix right now? I just saw this report of something in the sky, and I'm probably a half an hour to 40 minutes outside of Phoenix, and I don't know what he's talking about. I'm not seeing this stuff, like the Phoenix lights and whatnot. I don't see that. I saw something one time. Actually, I saw two things. One time I saw something that looked like it fell from the sky, but I was driving on this road. Everything's so flat around here and so expansive. So, it's sometimes your eyes plays tricks on you, what's actually going on. But I saw something fall out of the sky, and it could have easily been a kickball or a soccer ball in the distance. Someone kicked it up, and I looked up when it was falling down, but the sun was shining behind it, so it was only like a silhouette in the sky. It was weird. It was pretty weird, but I was trying to just understand what I just saw after the fact. And that was one thing I came up with that it could be, or it could have been just something weird. Another time I saw a plane. Well, I don't know what it was. It was some of the craft that the trajectory was so weird. So I had to pull over. I was driving the car with my girlfriend, and I pulled over, and I was like, look at that. And I was trying to film it. And my camera just on my phone couldn't do it justice, but it went diagonally across from on the ground to diagonally across the sky and gone. And I don't know if it was just the shape of the planet. It just was such a weird thing to see. But that's pretty much it. And there are a lot of military bases around here, so it could have been any one of those doing something weird that day. But no, I stand out in my yard and I look up at the sky, and I have yet to see anything substantial.
I guess,
and I'm looking up right now.
Yeah, I guess, again, too, I mean, how can I say it? I mean, if you're looking for it, you don't find it. It's the same like when I ran across the Bigfoot or the UFO or military thing or whatever it was in New Mexico. I wasn't looking for it. It just happened. And that's when,
Yeah.
that's like when you find your